The Lyre constellation is said to be about 800 million years old, with its brightest star Vega being only 450 million years old, including the Ring Nebula. There is an ancient part of Lyre, though, called NGC 6791, that is an open cluster of stars that is estimated to be about 8 billion years old, about as old as Arcturus is. The Lyre constellation is associated with the myth of the Greek musician and poet Orpheus that carried a small harp-like instrument called a lyre, made by the god Mercury and given to Apollo as a gift, who later gave it to Orpheus, a musician under his care. It was first catalogued on Earth by the astronomer Ptolemy in the 2nd century and served to be an important inspiration to the collective of humanity. The Lyrans were some of the first humanoid races to be living on Earth and populated, starting the civilization of Atlantis and Lemuria, among with other races like the Draco-reptilians and jelly-like water beings that would later move to planets around Sirius. Many say Lyrans are lion beings, but instead of having a full Earth lion head and human body, these humanoid beings are beautiful elfin-looking with feline features, elongated ears, and cat-like eyes that are almond-shaped with a slight slant upwards. They were known in the beginning to have red and golden hair. Eyes green, golden, purple, and gray-blue. Their symbol is the lion face floating in space. Being a fully aware of my Lyran ancestry, the lioness was one of my first spirit animals that came to me in time of healing. They are considered to be the first ancestors of the Pleiadians and even populated planets around Sirius, Orion, and Vega, along with many others. They are a proud race of beings, and a long time ago they created a great war between themselves, which caused a schism that caused so many of them to find new homes around the galaxy. The disagreement started well before coming to Earth, but there seemed to be a disagreement between factions that were on Lemuria and Atlantis. It had to do with the usage of power they were developing technologically, and some of those parts of Lemuria decided to focus their attention on tapping their inner power from meditation and spiritual healing, while the Atlantis scientists and government leaders became obsessed with harnessing the power of crystals and subatomic particles in order to create their own wormholes, black holes, and amplified atomic bombs. It was not that they were a destructive group. They just wanted to experiment with what they could create and look towards conquering other planets with lesser developed life forms and expansion of their own race. Lemuria leaders did not agree with Atlantis and would not help them in this effort towards acquiring new power. So the division between them got wider and wider over many years, where relationships were forbidden to happen between Atlanteans and Lemurians. Many star-crossed lover relationships formed into the collective subconscious of humanity during this particular time. The Galactic story is that the development of this advanced technology caused a war between the two island nations, and eventually the explosion shook the foundations of each landmass and caused it to break off into the ocean and sink. But not until many of the inhabitants got onto their ships and went through wormhole portals, escaping with many Lemurian lives lost, due to Atlantis' attack first with their newly developed atomic bombs. After their nations were lost and not wanting to live on the land, they went back to their Lyra constellation to discuss with the council there. Their council helped them to see their wrongs from both nations, but still the schism existed between their people of what to do with their evolved civilization and where to go next with their technology they have uncovered. Later, when Vega the star formed, new planets formed around it, and Lyrans eventually divided themselves into the new race of beings known as the Vegans. The new life evolved on planets around Vega and became a bit different looking to their original Lyrans, adding new features to fit the planet environment. Vegans are humanoid looking, still with 2 arms, 2 legs, and torso and a head, but they can be set apart from Lyrans with their bluish skin and indigo blue, almost black hair. Some Vegans still had the lighter Lyran hair color, but generally Vegans were darker. They were a peaceful race that decided to send representatives to Earth when humanity was young and give the inhabitants of India the spiritual wisdom hidden in mythology called the Vedic texts. Their mission was to help humanity spiritually and learn the basic understanding of the interconnection in the universe that would later be the foundations of the chakra system and Hinduism. Today, Lyrans are all over the galaxy, fulfilling the plan of one day populating other planets, but doing it with respect towards other native life. Many of the Lemurian Lyrans went to the seventh star system, the Pleiades. Many of the Atlantis Lyrans went to Sirius, the brightest star in our sky, in search of a planet to live on, which is why sometimes Assyrians are often considered to be lion or cat beings. Lyrans are considered to be wise, ancient souls that are known as the Golden Light Ones around the galaxy. They are advanced in the healing arts as well as creating advanced technology, including with creative expression like music and art. The ones who still reside in Lyra are almost at a hive mind consciousness where the majority do not think only as individuals, but as one large group. The Lyrans are part of the Galactic Federation and are helping humanity since they are the ancestors within the Galactic Collective. They don't consider themselves as human gods, but rather great-grandfathers and grandmothers. Their energy is very warm-hearted and gregarious in nature. They act as mentors to other races and show some of the positive learnings from the past mistakes can create a wise race with vast amounts of knowledge and experience of the cosmos. Their concern for Earth right now is the lack of confidence humans have on Earth that they have for themselves individually. They see Earth has created an illusion matrix by STS, service to self beings, who have entrapped them with their minds, making them think they are not beautiful enough, smart enough, quick enough, popular enough, rich enough, successful enough to be considered of having value in society. They want humanity to know that each soul is a precious part of the collective that is of equal worth to the whole collective. A star is not worth its weight in its mass, but it is a significant part of the whole universe that lights the way for other planets, and if it is missing, it creates a black hole in space where it should be, since everything is connected on one fabric of space per dimension of reality. To work with these beings, just ask for help in bringing forth the true confidence within you if you lack it and are aware of it. This race is a proud one, but they are still very loving. They show you a delicate balance in loving oneself and loving others too equally. They are a major proponent of bringing the positive body image movement and self-love healing in. They know that all higher dimensions of consciousness are supported by the ability to first learn to accept one's duality and believing in the self. The following are exercises to probe your own mind deeper about them. You can write them down or just think about them, but when you do write them down, you will be able to refer to the information later on. Number 1. The Lyran story within the collective may make some souls more hungry for power and less hungry for it, depending on their soul paths. Do you sense what your past life tie was with this race? Write down your true feelings about the quest for external power and technology in the world today. What are some benefits and what are the cautions you have towards it? Number 2. Do you feel you would be more happy being part of technologically advanced and driven nation of Atlantis, or the more natural-oriented life such as on Lemuria? Number 3. Have you felt a deeper connection to cats or lions within your life? Do they hold an attractive quality to you? Ever have a lion or cat as a spirit animal? Write down some ways you may feel connected to lions or the feline group, or not feel connected to them at all. Number 4. In what ways do you feel you have forgotten your Lyran nature within? Divide your paper down the middle and think of ways you are confident about yourself and what ways you are not. Number 5. What ways have you noticed the prison matrix in society centered around inauthentic self-worth? Have you yourself noticed how much exterior looks and success is looked at more so than the inner beauty or inner happiness? Write down some societal structures or big industries in this world that have made it their mission to say that you are not good enough the way you naturally are, without spending money to improve yourself in some way. It is important to become aware of them so you start to see that you are not the one who needs true improvement. Number 6. What does the expression lion-hearted mean to you? Think deeply about this term that lies deep within the human collective. Is it a quality you have naturally had or tried to obtain? What does a lion-hearted person do, or how do they act like towards others? In what ways can you be more lion-hearted? Number 7. Self-confidence is about remembering your immortal soul within and the power that you have. In what ways can you start to work on your confidence more today without spending any money? Brainstorm a few ideas for yourself. Number 8. It has come time on Earth where the same situation is happening, where the story of Atlantis and Lemuria is repeating itself in the quest for technology and moving to other planets, instead of focusing on this one together. In what ways can you recognize the pattern of the past with today's world? How can we as souls ensure we do not repeat this ancient history of war within the collective? Okay, well, this concludes our Lesson 3. Class dismissed, and I'll see you all on the next video for Lesson 4.